All right, guys, so I made it here to Gloss Empire. We got Jose over here. Since he was such an interesting person and had so much knowledge, I wanted to talk to him again, and that way he could share some of his story with us.
What's up, Edgar? Welcome back, man. Glad you made it out. My name's Jose, Gloss Empire. We started this company almost 2 years now.
2 years now,
This started almost 2 years ago now.
So tell me a little bit about how you started in the detailing business.
So I left my career of 17 years to do detailing full-time back in 2017. But it initially started as a part-time gig. I would sell product literally out of my trunk. And little by little, the more products I brought home to friends, to family, it just started growing. Before you knew it, I had a truck load of products.
Wow, that's
That
pretty
is
cool.
how I started, selling product and started working part-time, my regular, career that I had. And then eventually it became more of a full-time gig. And in 2014, we opened our first store and started selling product out of that store and detailed as well. So that's how I got started, man.
Where were you working before you started all this?
So for 17 years, I tested computer software. That was my job, was to test the software, get it ready for customers, train them on how to use it. And I did that for 17 years.
All right, so you said you were doing software. So tell me about what led you to finally decide to quit after 17 years?
I think I've always known that I wanted to be my own boss, meaning wanted to own my own business. I think nowadays that has a whole new meaning because doing business in 2023 is very different than when I was in high school a long time ago. The fact of wanting to own my own business has always been there. It was just an opportunity that I saw with detailing, with the car community, and just the amazing products that I was working with at the time, and it just has evolved into a lot more. We carry 8 different brands now, but the passion for owning my own business has always been there.
I think a lot of times people struggle to want to take that jump into doing their own thing, especially, people have family or they have other obligations. What was something that was maybe holding you back at the very beginning?
I think the number one thing is fear. That's always the number one thing because, our body and our brains are made to protect us. So when we know we're going out of our comfort zone, fear is the number one thing that hits and you're like, don't do it. What if you fail? What if you don't make money? What if it's too hard? So I think the number one thing that holds everyone back, including myself, is fear of the unknown. And so if you can not overcome that fear, work with that fear, push through even though you have fear, because the fear is always going to be there. You're going to work through it and persevere. That was the number one thing that held me back from doing it sooner.
Right, and that's the same way for me. Just I feel like if I would have done it sooner, I would have been a lot farther on in my own business. So definitely, that's some good words of advice. You said you were selling supplies out of your trunk.
Yes.
What was that like?
So what happened in about 2011, I went to a car show as we enjoyed doing on weekends, my son and I. My girls would follow once in a while, but they didn't like the car shows too much. I remember going to a car show at our church in Los Alamitos, California, and what would happen is we would go to the shows, buy products like most people do. I fell in love with the product that I bought at the show, and I started taking care of. At the time, I had a black Charger, and it looked like a mirror. It looked amazing. Products were amazing, and I started learning more. I've always kept my cars clean, right?
Right.
But this product just went above and beyond what any product I had ever used. So what happened is everywhere I went, literally, I would go to the gas station, the market, and people would stop me and ask me, how do you get your car so clean? And that's how it started. I would say, oh, I got this stuff, and they go, where can I get it? At the time, it was a brand that literally dying. It was sitting on the shelves at different dealerships and it was collecting dust. So little by little, I started buying more of it. I would literally deliver it to friends, to family, to coworkers. Before you knew it, I was, had a trunk load full of products and I would sell it to friends and family. That's how it started.
That's pretty cool. Did you ever get pulled over or anything like that with just all your detailing supplies?
So the funny story is I didn't get pulled over for having products in the trunk, but I have gotten pulled over. Original company name was Wax for Dads, right? At the time, my son came up with that name because everyone I knew and everyone I was selling products to were dads. Soccer dads, people at church, at work, everybody was a dad.
Right.
So we came up with the name Wax for Dads and it just took off, right? Well, because the name Wax for Dads the sticker was on our car, I remember getting pulled over and my nephew got pulled over as well. But they pulled us over and they said, what's that sticker about? And when I explained, they didn't believe me. The officer, the one in the background, said, no, that says Wax for Dabs. At the time, I didn't know what that meant. I guess it has a connotation of some kind of wax that you smoke, or I don't know what you do with it, right? It's drugs.
Wow.
Long story short, they thought it meant wax for dabs, and they thought that's what it said on my sticker. And it took a little while to explain to them and show them my business card, my business license, and when the other officer came over, he looked at it, he goes, yeah, look, it is, it's wax for dads. So they were like, oh, okay. And then they let me go.
That's pretty
So,
crazy.
That was interesting.
Dang, so you had to change your name from there?
No, absolutely not. By then, I had already been in business for a year and a half to 2 years, and absolutely not. I kept the name Wax for Dads. That is still something I run. It's a page I run. The initial website where I sold product was on Wax for Dads. We started this store here in the Central Valley, and we went with the name Gloss Empire. A little different, but it's still something that we, to this day, hold very near and dear to our heart.
Since you've been in the detailing business for a long time now, and you have your own shop, what's some advice you wish that someone would have told you, like when you were just first starting out?
It's a loaded question, man. I love it, love it. There's a lot of different things that I wish I had done different. There's a lot of things that I learned on the way. But if there was one thing that I would give myself as advice, 10 years ago, the number one thing would be have more balance with family. Have more balance. That's one thing that I wish I had taken as the advice. As far as balancing work, life, family, it's the number one thing that I wish I had heard. Along with that, on the business side of it, is practice your craft more. Get better at what you do was one thing that what I find lately is with a lot of detailers is they have a detail coming up, on the weekend. They go, oh yeah, I need that product 'cause I've never used it and I don't know how to do it, but I'm gonna, I have a car I'm doing Saturday.
Right.
The number one thing I wish I'd have done more of is practice more of the actual process and get better at what you do. A lot of people say practice and work on your weaknesses. No, man, that's true, but practice and work on your strengths as well. If you strengthen your strengths, man, you're gonna be unstoppable.
So you recommend like people just, never stop learning type of mentality, kind of just always just learning whatever they can, obviously watching videos like this.
Absolutely. Learning and watching videos is an amazing way, right? But there is nothing like doing it yourself. I think the hands-on, yes. I think the biggest hurdle and the biggest thing I see that hurts detailers when they're starting out is they saw it on YouTube, so it's got to be easy, right? But if you do it yourself, there's nothing like doing it yourself so you can learn how to do it, but you also learn what not to do. And then you make the mistakes and you learn from those mistakes.
There's been a few mistakes that me and Nathan have learned, and we've documented a few of them, but yeah, it's definitely hard out there if you don't have the right tools and the right practice.
Yeah, a lot of times, in the wintertime when it's raining, I'll have detailers come in here and they're starting out and they go, yeah, man, it's slow. I haven't done any cars. Oh, okay, hey, did you practice, polishing cars? No, I haven't practiced. And they took the class, months back. Have you done a clay bar? No, I haven't. Why aren't you doing that to your car? Do that to your car today. It's raining outside. I don't care, man. Clay bar in the rain, do what you got to do. But if you learn how to do it today, you'll be there and ready for tomorrow.
All right, guys, if you love what Jose has to offer, tell us where they can follow you.
So Gloss Empire Inc., Gloss Empire INC is our Instagram page. Also, you can follow me on Wax for Dads. It's Wax, W-A-X, number 4, and then Dads, D-A-D-S. We also have a website, glossempire.com.
And we'll put all this information down in the description below. And we're going to be filming another video with him because he just has so much knowledge to share with us.
Thank you, guys.